What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. In today's episode, it's kind of a cold, drizzly day here in Michigan, but it's going to be a beautiful fall day once this rain passes. And so I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to bring you guys along and show you all everything that's happening in the garden. Despite the fall weather arriving, we have so much happening, so much growing, so much still that we're going to be harvesting. And so I thought it'd be a fun opportunity for me to show you guys that the garden is not over just because summer is over. So let's go. All right, so check it out. The first thing I want to show you guys are these yard-long beans. Now, they're not producing yet, but they do have a really good chance of producing some beans. We still have about 15 to 20 days of frost-free days left here in Michigan, and they are flowering. So because they're flowering, it does give me some hope. Now, these ones here were pollinated, so these are actually going to be growing. They're just starting, but these are just beautiful. We have about 6 plants on this trellis here. I just wanted to see something growing up the trellis. Next thing, we have these golden snap peas. Now, these are one of our favorite peas to grow in the garden. So sweet, so good. Awesome fall crop. All right, come check it out over here. So this bed has our spinach in it. Now, the spinach we started from seed about 2 weeks ago, and it looks incredible. It's just starting to put on its first set of adult leaves, and we're about 2 weeks away from our first cutting of spinach, but it's growing great. And the really nice thing is with all this fresh compost that we just added, we topped off a lot of our beds with fresh compost. It's gonna give them that fertilizer that they need to get growing. Now, we did also top dress with some trifecta as well, but that compost is really gonna give that fertility to keep those plants healthy. Now, the next thing I wanna show you is our pak choy cabbage. Check it out. All right, so next is the pak choy cabbage. Now, we started this from seed just last week, so it's just starting to grow up. We still have to come in here and thin. A lot of the plantings are pretty dense, but the really nice thing is the fact that we had good germination rates. So we have some good defined rows in here. We have 6 rows of pak choy cabbage, and then we're gonna be planting out the rest of the bed with some mustard greens and some more radishes in the next couple days. And so these, we had to get started earlier because we're hoping that these are gonna get up and growing before our first frost, and then we're gonna give them some protection so that they can grow basically all through, my hope is all through November into December, because they're very cold hardy crops. All right, next is the radishes. Now, these radishes are beautiful. This was our first planting of fall radishes, and you'll notice so much larger than our other plantings. We have another planting in that back bed over there, and these are ready to harvest already. We've been harvesting from these for about the past, let's say 2 or 3 days now, and they look incredible. These are so pretty. And these radishes, we have a combination of cherry bell and lady slipper. And the lady slippers are just starting to come on. Look, beautiful. Or sorry, not lady slipper, French breakfast is what we planted. We planted French breakfast and cherry bell. And these look so pretty. Let's get a few more here for you. That's what we're starting to get right now. We have lots more to harvest. And then next to it also, we have some, these are just some little arugula plants. Amazing, so delicious, love arugula. And then we have our Swiss chard plants. So these things are behemoth. Check it out, look at this. These things are absolutely giant. Look at the stem on this sucker, look at this. Look at that, that's amazing. And these are gonna grow well into November and December, no protection at all. These are just super hardy, very cold tolerant, and I love them. So we're definitely happy to have these in the garden, and they're not getting pulled up. Next thing is the kale, check it out. So this dinosaur kale or lacinato kale is beautiful. It's just starting to get out of some of the damage from the grasshoppers in the fall. We had a lot of grasshoppers come into the garden, and they really turned some of these leaves into Swiss cheese. But the new leaves that are forming, because these are so cold tolerant, they're gonna be growing into November and December as well. No protection needed. And because of that, all these new leaves that are forming are incredible. They're so beautiful. Just love that. Reminds me of that SpongeBob episode, Squeaky Boots. All right, next is our fall planting of zucchini. Now, you guys have loved following along with this, just kind of asking me how many zucchinis I'm still getting. And I'll be honest, it's starting to look a little worse for wear, but we are still getting some zucchini. There's gonna be a couple ready to harvest in the next few days, but total, we've gotten a few more than 20. I think about 22, 23 zucchinis out of these 6 plants here. So not too bad for a fall harvest. Now, obviously less than a summer harvest, granted, but some zucchini is better than no zucchini. Do you guys love this plant? I planted this 3 years ago in the garden, and this right here is the red vein sorrel. It is so delicious, so nutritious. This is crazy. Our Tabasco peppers are just starting to ripen, but we're keeping them in the garden because we want to have all of these ripe so we can make a Tabasco sauce. If you want to learn how, we just did a video on how to make your own lacto-fermented hot sauce at home using peppers you're growing from the garden. And so these are just starting to ripen up and they're looking beautiful. So we're going to get these all ripened hopefully and harvested before the first frost. So aside from the Tabasco pepper plant, most everything is done producing. We are leaving the pepper plants in the ground though, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna select about 3 or 4 of the healthiest plants and we're gonna take them inside. We're gonna be showing you how to do that in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. But the pepper plants are basically done. Now, one thing that I think is very interesting is the okra. All right, check out this okra. So this okra, I'm on the record as saying this was a dismal failure. And so I quoted that myself because I said this was a dismal failure. Now I did put my foot in my mouth because just after we filmed that video, we had about a week of 75, 80 degree weather, nice sunny weather, dry as well. And a lot of these okra plants started flowering. And so the weather just kind of got better magically and they actually started to produce. Now, we're not gonna get a ton of okra, but we are gonna get some okra. And so that just goes to show that don't pull stuff out. A lot of you make the mistake of pulling out your garden prematurely and you would have gotten a harvest or even a small harvest from what you pulled out. And so I'm not pulling any of these out until the first frost. That's just my policy. If it's in a fall garden, it stays until winter comes. So, and then next door has our Swiss chard. Now our Swiss chard, you know I love our Swiss chard. This stuff is thriving. This was a fall planting of Swiss chard. And these plants, I mean, just the vibrancy, you guys, the vibrancy of fall planted crops, especially things like beet greens, Swiss chard, radishes. Spring is great. Fall has a little tinge of incredible color that is just not seen in spring. I don't think I've ever seen a more vibrant Swiss chard plant in my entire life. Absolutely incredible. All right, and so we actually have kind of a nice surprise. We harvested a bunch of lavender flowers in late summer, I recall, and we actually have some more flowers. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna pick all of these flowers, dry them as well, and we use them from anything from baking to just little lavender bundles in the house throughout winter. And it's such a pretty flower. So we're gonna get all these picked, which is great. Wasn't expecting to get any. All right, now check out this fall planting of eggplant. This is the craziest thing ever. Now, we're not gonna get a ton of eggplant. This was just a fun experiment because I've never grown fall eggplant before. We started these seeds in early July in little containers. We transplanted them into the garden and check it out. Look at this. We actually have a little eggplant. So cool. Now, granted, not the most successful thing I've ever done. We don't have any other eggplants forming. We might get like 1 eggplant from this fall planting, but I just wanna see what's possible. You guys know that being in the garden is sometimes just, it's fun seeing what you can get from it, right? Pushing the limits and trying something new is part of having fun in the garden. And this is not gonna be a failure for me. I mean, I'm gonna get 1 eggplant, which is great, but it's also just learning about what's possible from fall planting, because I've never grown fall eggplant before. I've grown fall tomatoes and had a ton of success with it. We grow fall zucchini and have a ton of success with it. So I thought, you know what? Why not some fall eggplant? Now over here we have some fall planted leeks. Now these leeks were started by most accounts quite late, and they look incredible. These were actually put in the garden at the end of June. Way too late for planting anything like an onion. But because it doesn't have to bulb, it's not day specific. It's not daylight specific like a regular onion is. And these leeks look absolutely beautiful. These are the American flag leek, and they're one of my all-time favorite leeks. And they are so productive, and I think we're gonna get some nice, like look at this one, look at that, that's a nice leek. But look at the leaves, they look incredible. So cool. So we're gonna have some French leek soup in our future. All right, so we're walking through the nasty drizzle over to our raspberry plants, and I got something so exciting to show you guys. Look at this. Look at this. This is the Latham raspberry, and look at how many raspberries are on this. This is so incredible. It's just one little, the plant is not that old. We just planted these last year, and so the plant is just starting to produce. And this fall harvest of raspberries is astounding. They are giant. They are so pretty. I just gotta see, oh, there we go, there's one. Look at this. Look at these raspberries, look at that. Beautiful. So good. One more for you, look at that. All right, now the final thing I wanna show you guys are these beets. And the reason why is because I wanna finish on these beets because these beets were in the garden from spring. Now, a lot of you have probably heard the old wives' tale. If you leave a beet in the ground, they'll get woody and gross. And I can tell you from my personal experience that is just not true. It is positively not true. And the reason why I can say that is because we've been harvesting these incredible beets. I mean, the prettiest beets you've ever seen all summer long. And as we've been harvesting from them, the ones on the outside keep getting bigger. And now we're at the stage where basically we've thinned them out to where every single beet has fully grown. And now these beets we have been consuming, and none of them have gotten woody, none of them have gotten tough, none of them have gotten undesirable in the least. And it just goes to show that you can plant beets in the spring, harvest them in the fall, and they'll taste just fine. So I don't know if you can tell, but it is a steady drizzle. We're gonna get out of the garden. We're getting wet. The camera is not waterproof, and I'm not either. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all are having a wonderful fall garden as well, enjoying the colors, the textures, the smells. The earth smells so good in fall. The earth just smells so good in fall, you guys. And so I'd encourage you all to get out in the garden. There's still time to plant some things in the garden as well. Radishes, spinach, pak choy, rutabagas, not parsnips, but turnips. Get those in the ground. They can do great for you throughout the rest of fall and into winter. So get your fall garden started if you haven't already. There's still time. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye.